Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and UK banks are scrambling to make sure Trump doesn't completely screw us over. Now, there's a statement I never thought I'd be saying. This wasn't on my 2026 bingo card, so what's going on and just how much danger are we in here? Well, it concerns Mastercard and Visa. According to the article I was reading on this threat, about 95% of card payments in the UK are Mastercard or Visa. I can well believe it. My debit card certainly is, and very likely most of yours too. So, what could Donald Trump do to completely screw us over? He could order Visa and Mastercard to be switched off in the UK. Okay, that sounds scary. But surely this is just scaremongering. After all, it would screw American businesses too, because most British consumers wouldn't be able to pay for orders from American businesses. And if you told me yesterday that Donald Trump could in theory shut off Visa and Mastercard in the UK, that this happened in Russia a few years ago in response to their full-scale invasion of Ukraine, so there's potentially a legal route to doing so, I might have responded that it just doesn't seem realistic to worry that Trump would do this for the UK. After all, the US wasn't trading a lot with Russia before the Visa and Mastercard shut down. The cost to American businesses would have been limited, although this would hurt the UK much more than the US because it stops us buying anything off anyone. It would still hurt US businesses. However, last night I was reading that UK banks are having a big meeting this Thursday to accelerate plans to protect us from this threat. We have a way of bypassing it. It'll take a little while. Apparently, we've been working on it for some years. But the meeting this Thursday seems to be designed to accelerate those plans. The plan also has the backing of the UK government. So the impression we're getting here is that chief executives of British arms of major banks think that there's a serious threat that Trump could turn Visa and Mastercard off. So we need to act quickly. Now, there are many words and phrases you could use to describe chief executives of major banks, some nicer than others, but easily panicked is not one of them. So why would Trump even consider doing this? Well, according to the report, it concerns Greenland. Last month, Trump appeared to run out of his version of patience. He threatened military force, even sanctions against European nations, including the UK, just for defending Greenland. In fact, in the case of Oz, we sent like one officer. He was then persuaded to drop the issue for now. We can only speculate how that happened, but he's not dropped it for good. At the recent Munich Security Conference, the Danish Prime Minister warned that Trump has not given up on taking Greenland. I have zero reason to doubt she's correct. And Trump has already indicated that he doesn't mind how he takes it. It's not a simple case of rebuffing attempts to purchase the territory. He's shown he's willing to use force, both military and economic. There's a fear that at some point Trump turns his attention back to Greenland and will need a new bargaining counter. After all, there must be some reason he was persuaded away from it last month. Those reasons will still be there, so he needs to up the ante, right? The threat to disable 95% of our debit and credit card payments would be a hell of a threat. The fact that it would also hurt the US may not be as much of a defence as we know. The man is crazy. His tariffs have already caused major damage to the US economy. GDP is holding up. You think, oh, GDP's all right. Yeah, it's been propped up because of the growth in value of the major tech corporations. If you filter those out, the rest of the economy is not looking rosy. So imagine the scenario. If your debit or credit card is Visa or Mastercard, you can't use it. You can't use it to buy anything, in person, online, wherever. Imagine how that would affect you. Some of you, it will affect you more than others. But I mean, imagine it across the entire country. The people who need their card to use public transport, online shopping, paying bills without direct debit. And then think about what it does to those businesses that they're buying them from. You know, the economy just goes down the toilet. It's absolutely catastrophic. But that, of course, would be the appeal for Trump. He may imagine that no government could afford to dare him to do it. Mind you, it would be interesting to see what it does to Nigel Farage's reputation if his big orange sugar daddy melts our economy. But the curiosity probably isn't worth the cost. So basically, we need a response. We need it quickly. This is why UK banks are having a meeting about this specific threat this week. But not to discuss what to do about it. They already know what to do about it. They're talking about it for years. The meeting appears to be to discuss plans to how they can accelerate the solution. And the solution is, of course, not be reliant on Visa or Mastercard or indeed any payment system, which is based in the United States and can be ordered around by the US president. In the article, one executive was quoted as saying it would send us back to the 1950s. Of course, the impact would be greater because people were used to doing everything with cash and cheques in the 1950s. Now most of us are used to doing everything with our flexible friend, and banks are used to the same. Like when Visa and Mastercard switched off in Russia, reportedly left people just unable to buy food. You need to go to the bank, you need to withdraw cash. But banks aren't used to those numbers of people needing to come in and draw cash out, right? You might trigger runs. All in all, best avoided. So we've apparently been discussing a UK-based payment system for years. Maybe now's the time to stop talking about it and start doing it. Let us not find ourselves in the situation we have by relying on US defence, where we're now trapped between a rock and a hard place, needing to boost our defence capabilities, but without the time to really do it properly. Mind you, it looks like Visa and Mastercard are not shut out of talks on this. They are part of it. After all, the previous discussions were not motivated by fears that a batshit US president would tell Visa and Mastercard to switch off. Just global threats in general. It just makes a country more resilient if you're not completely dependent on foreign entities for anything important. And it's not just the UK which could be a target. The chair of the European Parliament's Economic and Monetary Affairs Committee has said they want the EU Commission to organise a European Airbus for payment systems. Don't say you weren't warned, he's saying. Quite shocking, isn't it? I mean, we've been used to hearing of cybersecurity threats from Russia, even China. We've been hearing from people for years that we need to boost our resilience against sophisticated attacks on increasingly automated digital systems, which manage everything from water treatment to energy transmission to paying for groceries. But it's a bit of a sit up and take notice moment when you consider that the USA is also a serious cybersecurity threat, and that when you think about it, maybe the US threat could be the most urgent. After all, if I know that UK banks are now treating this issue with a bit of urgency, I think there's a decent chance someone in the White House does as well. Perhaps all it takes is for someone to let Trump know that, if he's going to use this threat, it should probably be before we get our act together, and you might create the conditions for Trump to decide to act sooner rather than later. Even saying this, I find it so difficult to believe that even the orange one would go through with such a threat, especially as it wouldn't just target the UK. It's not just the UK standing in his way with Greenland, other European powers as well. And yet, if the country's top bankers think the threat is both serious and urgent, then there it is. The Guardian article says, interestingly, that the Bank of England have refused to comment. Now, I don't see why they would, unless they think the issue is politically sensitive. After all, there are non-Trump reasons for doing this. But Trump appears to be the rocket up the arse to get it done now. We are looking, by the way, at 2030 before the system can be up and running. Let us hope that the orange one can be distracted with other things in the meantime, and that enough Republicans see the danger to their own local businesses if Europe can't actually buy their shit. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Please subscribe to the channel for more content. Click the bell notification icon so you know when new videos are out. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.